Hi. So most of you that have been taking so much loan from these microfinance banks like OPay and you're not paying at all and you're telling yourself, we will see. Some of you just deleted the app and just left it like that. You're saying, no, you're going to just go to your father's land or you go abroad. You're not going abroad or you're not going anywhere. The only place you can go is in your village. And trust me, they're going to catch you. Did I just say catch you?
They'll find you.
They will find you. So guys, if you've been thinking about the accumulated amount on your OPay app or the debt that you're owing and you don't know why that is, today we're going to be talking about that and we're going to be dissecting why that is happening, as well as a few other, conversations around tech. So guys, stay tuned and don't go nowhere. My name is SCN and this is Tech Talk. I borrowed 1.2 million naira from OPay to change my phone and get some wigs in 100 level. And I deleted the app when the interest was piling up too much and they kept disturbing me to pay back. I installed the app back now and you all will believe how much my loan has become. Pour me water, please.
How much did you borrow?
1.2 million naira in 100 level.
For wigs.
For wigs and a new phone.
Wow.
Nigerians, come on. This is not the reason why you should take out loan. Honestly, the reason why you should take out a loan is basically maybe for an emergency, say, medical emergencies, for a business. So basically, when you get that business up and running and there's profit coming in, you can actually take from the profit and pay back your loan. I don't know where these guys get the audacity. Definitely must be a Gen Z. What do you think?
First of all, when I heard it, my mouth was open, like 1.24. But of course, we're not here to be moral judges of these things. Yes. All I have to say is when you borrow money, pay.
Of course.
Pay. Because I think I heard one of these pastors and when he was critiquing the believers, that somebody will borrow you money and the person will have to explain why they will need that same money back. I think it's a very bad habit. So you pay your money. And yes, I don't think the question right here, right now, is will she pay the money or not?
I would actually tell you why she's going to pay the money. But before I do that, let me just explain to Nigerians and a few people, why that's going to be possible and, the piling up that people don't actually understand. So here is, what you might not understand. Now, if you take a look at the screenshot where she said she borrowed 1.2 million naira, rather, you would get to see that, there is a due date and there's a due date that you're expected to pay that amount. Now, in this case, in hers, I think it's actually November 2024. Now, if you're looking back and looking at where we are right now, that's almost like 2 years. And for some of these microfinance banks, they have a penalty fee. Now, this penalty fee, obviously now it's like, for some of them, this microfinance bank, they implement like a 1% increment per day. Now, if you tend to calculate 1% every day for 365 days or 366 days, which is actually a year, or 365 days rather, that's actually a year. That's actually 365%. Now, multiply that by 2. Now, you should understand this is the calculation that has led to that particular amount that some of you see. Now, I know you're actually shaking in your chest, beam. But that's actually it. And if you're asking now, so your question is, how would she pay, or if, she can still pay? She can still pay. You're not going anywhere now, because some people don't understand that this is actually going to affect your visa. You would be unable to travel, of course, if you have a debt. And if we actually are in a working society or a working country, you know that there's several things you might not be able to do if you have a bad credit score. As to probably, getting a house. Landlords are supposed to be looking at your credit score to say, oh, with this bad credit score, you're actually owing this amount of money. We definitely shouldn't be trusting you to give you a place because we're not sure that you're going to be, paying your rent as much. So, honestly, and the very most important part of this is when you're actually getting a loan, you see that you're expected to put in your BVN. That's where most people just relax and say, oh, she been a BVN. Press and put, they just press and put. But they don't understand that it's connected and
It's
there's
everything.
no way.
It's everything.
Your BVN is your your accounts connected. So where exactly are you going?
Do you think that debt, the accumulated debt, can be waived?
I think for maybe in some cases, for some microfinance banks, they could actually look at it. And I think I've heard some people say that, that's just on the screen, that when you get to pay the actual amount that you are owing, that's going to go off. Some people actually said that, but I don't know if that's going to be the case for some people. I think maybe depending on, because you and I know how banks work. They work with, they work with interest. They work with, this is why we work. It's just like we saying we're paying you.
This is business.
Yeah, this is business. So it's just me saying that if the banks are going to just waive off everybody, it basically might just look like they're not doing business and, think about it. So there is a possibility that this thing is not waiving. So in Nkechi, that you are owing over 20 something million, you better find a way to hustle now. Hustle.
Yeah, so me too, I don't think it's going to be waived. I just feel that, maybe it can be negotiated, right?
Okay.
Instead of, so that's where you have to go to the office, and if there is a way, actually. But strongly, I am convinced that there is no way you're going to do. There's nothing you're going to do. You're going to pay that money.
You see, the problem we have with people is that they don't tend to, a lot of times there is so many things that are hidden in the backs of the things that we get to put ourselves in that we don't tend to look at. So mostly maybe for when you're trying to open an app or when you're using an app for the first time, you see that the area where you see the agreement, and all. A lot of people,
we don't read
that thing. Now,
we don't read it.
Think about it for a second that, your some of these apps, obviously, they have those, SLAs, those agreements and stuff. And some people just waive it. It might be there that, at a point in time, you're going to be paying certain, percentage as an increment. And if it's there, you cannot take anybody to court. You cannot plead. You cannot do whatever. So it's just, you're in a tight situation.
So I think this is a warning to every other person out there. And this is going to serve as deterrent, because I strongly believe that there are a lot of people in these shoes right now.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
And especially in what we tag as Sakba economy today. So there are a lot of it. So if you are one of them if you are in this situation, it's time to check and go back and check what you're actually owing. Oh, I just remembered.
Are you owing?
No, somebody told me about this before. Yes, I just remember a guy told me that, yes, he did something similar. Yes, I think after this show, I might have to give him a call. And please go check and note the amount you are owing and start paying immediately. And
and find a way to start paying.
Find a way to
pay.
buy.
It just made me think about, there's a movie I was watching over the weekend. It's called, this is on the lighter level, it's called Debt Collector. And you get to see that, people, let's say in a society where they know that the banks are not, in that particular movie, the banks were not actually giving out loans. So people go to, it could be like, Dugbo kind of, like another person that, probably just, or business person that has the money, they're able to give you these loans, but they have interest on this loan. So
they call them lenders, money lenders.
Yeah. So, but in this case, they get to take back these loans brutally. That's how it was in the movie. So I feel, let's not get to a point where, the same thing might be repeating itself in the case of these fintechs or these microfinance banks, and they're coming to you brutally.
They have done that before. Yes, I don't think, somebody told me that they want them to stop that. I believe that a lot of Nigerians have experienced it. When you owe these guys, the fintech guys, and you are unable to pay, or maybe you are delaying payment, I've heard instances where they publish your picture all over social media and say, well, this person is a fraudster, is a this, a that.
They
just to tarnish your image, all right? So I think that is a virtual version of what you're talking about, that what you just described that is the mafia way of dealing with it. Okay, you're
so
owing me
instead
on,
of doing that,
like,
they're doing it
yeah,
digitally.
so these fintech guys, a lot of them, they were doing that. They will pay, say it's a kidnapper, this and that. Yes, yeah. I mean,
I remember. But so
it's
guys,
bad. It's bad.
you know, like we said, if you're owing any amount, try as much as possible to read these things. Look for it could be a banker or a consultant, you know, a finance consultant, to ask questions around loans that you take, especially the app you're using or the bank that you're taking that loan for, because I understand that every person or every bank per se, they have their own, you know, laid out rules. So, you know, that's what you should do. So yes, guys, this is Tech Talk once again. And if you're just joining us, this is where you get all, you know, the very juicy and trendiest gist around the tech ecosystem as long as Nigeria is concerned. So guys, my name is SCN, and with me here on my right hand side is TRG. It's called That Republic Guy. His name is actually Austin.
Yes, Austin TRG. That Republic Guy.
That Republic Guy.
Yeah.
You better check if you're owing or you just go pay. That Republic Guy might, you know, a Republic app might come and
I
carry
can
the Republic
never
Guy.
owe.
Oh, you don't owe?
Nah.
It's got a lot of money. So guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, you know, we need you guys to, you know, make a community. Please like this video, share, as well as, you know, leave a comment on this. We actually want to know if you actually have money that you're owing that is actually accumulating, and what ridiculous amount is actually there. Let us know. Also, you know, if you'd like to, you know, follow us on our social media platforms and become a family and a part of us. Of course, yes, the door is open and we're ready to welcome you. You can find us on all social media platforms at B360 TV. Tiara, let me ask you a question now, real quick. Have you ever received a phone call saying that, please, I just mistakenly sent money to your account. Can you, you know, check and please send me the money back? Or is it like a, you know, maybe it could be an airtime or stuff. Have you actually, you know, received that kind of call before?
Several.
So now we're going to be talking about why smart people, you know, still lose money to scammers on WhatsApp, especially using WhatsApp platform, because I know there's a lot of people that actually, you know, lost money on WhatsApp platforms. You know, recently I got someone, you know, saying that, they need money urgently. So basically it could be your account. I know, of course, I have your number. So it's just like saying when your WhatsApp is hacked, somebody uses your account to you know, to ask for money, to solicit for money, or asking me now. It's just like TRG telling me that, he can't come to work tomorrow because he's in a dire situation. Please, can I quickly send him 150 or 200? And for the fact that, you know, I've been in contact with him, or, you know, I've been in connection with him, I'll be like, okay, maybe. And I send that. So we are going to be talking about that today. Why do you think that people still fall victims to, you know, these scammers on WhatsApp, most especially?
So it's, honestly, I'm going to say that people will continue to fall victim to these scams for very many reasons. And one of them is AI. So I'd like to be specific. With this particular issue, it deals with relativity. You know, this is somebody is calling you with a number that you already know you have relationship with this person, and say and even if they call you already, maybe you are familiar with the voice, but with AI they can bypass, and it may be like this person is still talking. That's one aspect of it. And I had, you know, you asked me earlier, and I had a particular, I've had several experiences. I belong to these real estate groups, all right, as realtors. Now imagine that a WhatsApp group where, as realtors, you source properties, and this is where you pick your properties from to sell, and this is also where they post updates on training and all of that. So there was this particular day, we were supposed to have meeting by 9 p.m. training, all right? I don't want to call the real estate company for cheap promotion. So somebody in the group called me and said, you are aware about our acting as the PRO of the company, right?
Yeah.
And because we belong to the same group, we are doing the same thing, real estate and all of that. It's easy for me to believe, right? And we have meeting. It is true that we have meeting. He's posing as, and I say, okay, this, and he's sending some code to say, I say, you see her? So he told me that, okay, check, we are verifying attendance and all of that.
Yeah.
So he's check your screen right now. I said,
So for me, I feel honestly, these things are easy to detect if you are a calm-headed person, and if you take scrutiny very important, because I feel firstly, I think people need to be sensitized about scammers, especially maybe the older generation. I could say maybe for the younger generation, we tend to want to know these things and their formats and schemes and gimmicks, but for the older generation, they might not know. So I think there needs to be a sensitization on this particular matter to the older fellows to tell them, oh, this and this is what should follow. But for me, I feel if someone is coming to you and they're like asking for certain things that are private, or asking you in a hurry, because that's one thing I know about scammers. They deal with psychology, they deal with emotions, and they're like on the go, because it's like, if this doesn't work, they move to the next person. So besides that, they need to make it sound as urgent as possible, so you don't have the time to think about it. Yeah. So I feel when things like that come up, you should be looking at, am I in a hurry to do this? Has that happened before? So I think people fall victim to these things because they don't, sometimes they're not critically thinking.
Yes, that's a very good way to look at it, because they hit on the emotion of fear, the fear of loss.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes the fear of missing out. So they might just, the message, sadly, my mother got scammed. Through this means. Somebody called her and she sent the money before she made a call.
Wow.
So when she called me and she told me, I was like, oh God, why didn't you call me first?
Sure.
And I said, okay. I ended up, of course, sending the money. So let peace reign. It's okay. But next time, so what exactly, they spot your problem, right? They want to, they pretend to be solving a particular problem for you, and it is time. So that's why it's very important to be level-headed. Okay, think about this. Are you really in a hurry? Is this really true? Right? When you are not in a hurry, I think that deals a lot with our decision-making process. We tend to be in a hurry to make decisions, right?
And sometimes when offers are too juicy, when offers are too juicy, it brings me back to, there was a video that was actually circulating. I really wish the video guy could actually probably bring this up. There's a video that was actually circulating on Instagram where a certain lady was inside a cab. And I think they started saying that they wanted to buy $1, they wanted to share $1. And she was like screaming, I don't want to buy any $1. Let me come down. I don't want to buy any $1. So it shows
the 419 guy.
Yeah, it shows that particular gimmick, or, that style or that format is actually in the know of people down to the older generation. That's why I'm saying that there needs to be a sensitization that is going on regularly, not only to we, the guys that are in the technology age, but for most especially the guys that are older, or the women that are older. Now you spoke about your mom, and sorry, mama, but it just had to happen. So it brings me back to that, part of the conversation we were having about is AI actually doing us good, or is actually, a friend or a foe, like, So talking about that, guys, our last video that actually posted was, technology, a friend or foe. You should actually go look at that. Would love you to, watch that, as well as, come and let us know what you think about that, and, other things that you feel technology is actually doing that is actually making or marring the society that we are in today. So back to what I was discussing. So, it's just basically first being level-headed, and sometimes if you get to see that has not been an occurrence over time, and some people come up with juicy offers that, you know, as well as greed as well, because if you're greedy, some people come up with juicy offers and like, you know, I want to do this now, I'm going to do this later, and you know, stuff like that. TikTok is now the new bag. Now come over and tell me, would you be taking advice from a content creator that you might not be sure if the person is a professional? Now, there's a debate going on that there are a lot of content creators that, you know, pose as financial professionals that would come out and actually give people advice without necessarily maybe having the knowledge or having the basic, or would I call it the standard license to back that up. So guys, we're going to be talking about this now, and you're going to be telling me what you think, if it is very important, or I feel for me, I feel as, you know, as something that's as critical as that, they need to be a standard, there need to be regulations, there need to be licenses, you know, that goes with it to say, you know, for you to always, or for you to be able to come out and want to give people advice that is as sensitive as that of a financial advice, you should definitely have a license, honestly, because people are trusting you with their money.
I agree with you. 100%. If you ever, if you have ever read newsletters from even financial analysts, or anything, newsletter or a communique from all these guys, at the tail end, you are going to notice this is not financial advice. It's that caveat is always there. So even professionals are telling you that what I am giving you, it's not financial advice. This is for educational purpose only. So whatever decision you are going to make out of this is completely yours.
On you. But we get to see that a lot of people are actually very influenced by, you know, the so-called content creators that are, you know, financial advisors in some certain ways, even if basically they don't tend to put in that term or that, you know, that notion that this is actually not a financial advice. A lot of people are falling down to discuss. It brings me back to social media again. There's a certain guy that came in, I think he was talking about buying a certain person's course as I think it was 2024. He's requesting for a refund of 200,000 naira. I think it was a Forex class. He says he paid for that Forex class and that he lost his money, all his money. And he's saying that he needs a refund, and he's telling, I think it was Abby Forex or something, said he needs a refund, that, you know, it just begs to, you know, to that I'm thinking about it now as to, is it that the courses that they sell are not up to standard, or the people themselves are not really, you know, they don't really put their mind into learning and they just maybe probably paying, or does it go both ways?
That's really confusing, but it goes both ways, right? First of all, there is nothing guaranteed on earth.
Okay.
Nothing is guaranteed. And one of the problems I have spotted, it has to do with the narcissistic behavior of some people trying to tell you 100% this is going to work, rather than tell you that,
there's a 50% chance that it's not working.
So I believe that there is a principle I operate, but if I don't understand something that I don't want to do, I don't want to venture into it at all, because the basic fundamentals of investing is knowing. And before you invest, any financial pro will tell you that seek financial. You don't want to take that, but you would rather take financial advice from somebody you know that this person is not, but you are. Do you understand? So what do you think you'll get?
For me, I feel that there are two things: the fact that the world is becoming digitalized and your personality is more and more of your currency as we speak, because a lot of people are putting themselves out there. That's why you get to see a lot of big business owners are actually putting themselves out there because they understand that now personality is also a currency.
Yes.
So I feel the problem we're having is the professionals themselves, I feel basically they're not really putting themselves out there more so they could actually counter these guys.
They have started now.
They have. I think they're not putting themselves out there more. And secondly, I think the government needs to be a regulation.
There has to be, bro.
That would say that if you're not if a financial professional, you don't have any business putting out financial tips whatsoever. And obviously, you need to be backed, you need to be checked, and a lot. So we don't get to see people coming to ask for refunds and saying that they've lost their life savings and their, whatnot.
Well, it's going to be complicated because you say you don't necessarily have to be a finance person. Let's take, for instance, I'm a copywriter.
Yeah.
And I can be employed in a financial firm.
Yeah.
To write.
True.
So before you write, you do research.
Of course.
In fact, the way I think about copywriting is I'm being paid to learn. The things that I should have otherwise studied by myself and not get paid for it. Right now, I am being paid to do the research and learn. Imagine that you are getting paid for learning. So that's how I want to think about it. So somebody who has taken long hours to research about a particular subject, he knows. So the only problem we are having is posing as a professional when you are not. So you still have to, even as you are giving financial tip, before you do this, please make sure you talk to a certified financial expert. That's what the problem is. All right. So,
sure.
But if it is getting out of hand, please, you definitely need a nice license. Yes.
Man, I totally agree with you. So guys, just like they say, before you get to hear or before you get to, pick all the information that you're seeing out there on all social media platforms, make sure they're very well verified. Just like one person would say, and I quote, I got the advice from a madman. Make sure you don't get advice from bad people posing as content creators. So that's on the lighter note. So guys,
did you say the name of the person? You say I got advice.
Like I said, I'm trying to be very politically correct. So guys, that's where we draw the curtains on this episode of Tech Talk. Remember, like, share this video as well as subscribe, and also turn on notification to know when a new video drops. And would also love you to also interact with us on our social media platforms. We're everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, on all socials. You can find us at B360 TV. So guys, this is where we say goodbye from my own side. My name is Essien, and on the right hand side is
Austin TRG.
Thank you guys, and see you later.